Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the after the show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get risque every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
Here we go. Tuesdays, KVJ After the Show Podcast. We were talking at the end of the regular show about nicknames. We were talking about how you... we still pretty much, with Denny's, call them Denny's, even when we're not doing the show and hanging out. Somebody said, what do you call Suits? I think Suits is still Suits.
I always call him Suits.
I would never call him Jeremy.
No.
It seems disrespectful.
Now, Jen, Denny's wife, she'll call him Josh. So when I'm hanging out with them, she'll say Josh, which does sound weird to me. 'Cause I mean, I've known him for so long.
You get on her, right?
I'm like, his name's not Josh. You know that, right, Jen? But it's weird. Kevin, I call Kevin off the air. I call you V a lot. I don't call you Virginia that much.
You don't call me Vicious V off the air.
I don't.
What? The witch. You don't call me the witch off the air.
I don't call Kevin the Diet Pansy off the air.
Yeah. No, we
Thank
don't do that
goodness.
stuff. Yeah.
It's a little intense.
It would be intense.
Hey, Suits, are we broadcasting on?
This trending as it was like 3 years ago, but I still think it can look kind of hot.
Yeah, I don't give a frog's fat ass if it's trendy or not. Let's just have some fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
How much longer is your hair going to stay long?
I really don't even know.
You did your photo shoot, and I thought that's what you were waiting to cut it.
Yeah, I know. The hair gets a lot of opinions. So I wanted to keep growing it until I could do it like a ponytail.
Ooh,
that'd be
I like
fun.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Have some fun.
Yeah.
Have some
Go
fun.
apply at 98.7 The Gator.
Yeah, I may. Honestly, I think I do well at the Gator.
I think you would too.
It's old music. I don't know. If things don't work out here.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised. I got a good number of emails. Just lets me know that I guess misery loves company and that I'm not alone in people who have family members that have really taken kind of a radical approach with some of the conspiracy theories that are out there.
Okay, so your mom is deep in it, and you're not alone.
No, there are a lot of people that have done this, and I'm not. I follow politics. I know what's going on. I'm a middle of the road kind of guy. I'm a moderate independent, and to me, I look at all Democrats, Republicans, they look the same to me. So, when all this fighting was going on, I didn't have a dog in the fight. I didn't have a care. I don't really have any feeling on it. And my mom really got into these. It's always been, no doubt where she stands. She's Republican, very conservative. And that's all fine and good. I got no problem with that. But it's just recently around the election, it started to get really bizarre, some of the stuff that was going on and the stories about like the Pope being arrested and that they had put up all the fencing around the Capitol after the insurrection, that during the inauguration, first of all, the inauguration wasn't going to happen. Trump was going to get another 4 years, and she's bringing prophets into it and all this stuff. And
Profits were going to stop.
Yeah.
And Trump was going to be back. And that didn't happen.
And she was telling me like the Archangel Michael or Gabriel or one of those guys was swooping down and that it was going to be like trumpets from heaven. And, but I've heard that, like I told you, my entire life. I grew up with that kind of stuff. Like it was always, to me, every Tuesday was like the book of Revelations. It was just always going on.
Would you have trouble sleeping as a kid because of that? Or did you still go?
No, I was curious with it. I wouldn't say that I was traumatized, but it did, as I grew up, it definitely enhanced my interest in studying the book of Revelations and other things about biblical prophecy because of what was said. Because, to me, I just wanted to know. Because if you leave all of your information, everything up to one person and it's causing you distress, and it was, to me, I wanted to learn more about it. And now I'm able to listen to what my mom says, and I'm able to intellectually counter what she's saying and saying, look, you're not necessarily quoting that the right way, or this isn't really what happened, or that's not how that was objectively
Put down
looked
the
at.
purple Kool-Aid. You're in a cult.
Yeah.
Please.
It's the last 3 to 4 months. Like I said, I really haven't talked to Mom much since before Christmas because it was getting so nutty that I couldn't have normal conversations with her. It's like I was losing my mom to all this conspiracy, and I just can't stomach it. I can't. I'm trying to be polite with her in these discussions and just ask thoughtful questions about her crazy theories.
But it's hard to talk sensibly to somebody who is talking crazy.
Yes, and it was so crazy where, when she said that the Trump had them in checkmate, that when they went in for the inauguration, it was going to be a prison and none of them were going to be allowed to leave, just the Democrats.
The Democrats were going to be imprisoned.
Yes.
And that's why the fencing was up. It wasn't because of the security needed.
Yeah. It was just, and when I'm talking to my mom on the phone about this and she's saying this, I don't even know what to say. I'm like,
oh, we've lost her. We've lost my mom.
I'm always just trying to be like, well, I guess we'll see. And so after the whole inauguration happened, I thought, okay, finally.
Wait, the Democrats were allowed to go home?
Yeah, I know. And none of this happened. There was no Archangel Michael. The prophecies didn't take place.
didn't
the
happen?
inauguration happened.
Only thing that swooped down was that giant-ass bird that landed on Lady Gaga's outfit.
Yeah, I thought it was over, and then within 36 hours, it started again. And now the latest conspiracy is that Trump is going to be sworn in as the 19th president on March 4th now. And I'm like, I can't do this again.
The 19th president.
Yeah, it's
What?
it goes so deep. It's so I can't even.
All the other ones were frauds?
The United States is owned by England. It happened after the Civil War. We needed money, and so we basically sold ourselves to England. I can't.
So Trump owns America.
Trump bought the papers?
He's got the
something.
Okay,
It's so like
He's coming back?
It's just I can't even entertain it anymore. I've reached my breaking point where, Mom, I just want to know how your day is. What's going on in town? How do you feel? Let me tell you about your grandkids.
Are you seeing a physician?
Yeah.
Have you got a recent checkup?
I want those conversations.
Do you remember when you were a kid? Because obviously when you're little, you believe your parents pretty much on anything. And then there's that one moment where you start to question them. Do you remember what it was for your parents? Or for your mom, I should say.
Yeah, and my mom is definitely a lot more radical than my dad.
That's what I meant.
And always has been. And my mom comes Southern Baptist, all that kind of stuff, a little bit more devout than my dad's side of the family was. And a lot of it was religious stuff. And so I have, my questions, because everything that happened in the news was a sign of the end times. And so I remember even all through elementary school looking at all the prophecy and all this stuff. And because I thought fireballs were going to start raining down from the heavens.
Like, oh, crap. I don't want it to be the last day on Earth.
Right. So
Every day you think that.
Yeah. So as I got more into high school and definitely into college, then I started doing a little bit more of a deep or expanded dive where I wasn't just going to Christian sources only to try to get information on perspective of the Bible and things like that. And so I've expanded my perspective and viewpoints on it.
But when you were probably 9 or 10, would you say you started maybe kind of thinking, I'm not sure if
I think it's usually your early teenage years where you start thinking that some of the things that your parents tell you might be full of shit.
Yeah.
I thought my mom was fine. I didn't know she was crazy until I was about 12, and she told me that she could run through any rainstorm and not get any droplets of water on her. And I was like, huh? I think this bitch might be crazy. Hold up. Wait. All this time I didn't notice? Oh, wait. Now some of the other stuff that she had previously done is starting to make a little sense.
Yeah. And so when I talked about this yesterday, I've been kind of biting my tongue on it, holding off, because, again, I don't want to make this political, and this isn't about that. This really is a discussion not about all that. It's about, in a sense, I'm not the only one that's kind of losing family members with some of this stuff where it's getting into quackery. And when you don't want to have a conversation with somebody, and look, hey, I get it. I love to talk about football, but I would not subject somebody to my in-depth analysis about college football if I knew they didn't want to hear it. So it's not even necessarily the topic. It's just have other things you can talk about. When you realize somebody doesn't want to discuss something, know when to switch the topic and have something else you can talk about.
She can't, though. Your mom can't, because they got her.
Well, because she would tell me, she's like, there's nothing that matters other than this.
Damn.
And that's kind of where it is. And that's like, then I don't know that we can talk right now, because if there's nothing else.
Because everything else matters more than this.
And she disagrees. This is everything.
Well, that's tough, man. I'm sorry you got to go through that, because I know you want to have a relationship with your mom.
Yeah, but and that's really it. And like email after email, I won't go through every one, but it's like, Kev, I feel your pain. I too have a mother that once I looked up to, who seemed to be so smart, rational, and put together, only instead of becoming obsessed with politics, she's obsessed with religion. Spends most of her free time outside of work and prayer group. And look, there's nothing wrong with all this stuff as well.
But the obsessive nature.
You can easily get into a quacky world of religion. And most people know that. And most people only know the quacky world because that's what gets the most publicity. I know the more rational, thought-provoking religious people who look at it the right way and use it as a moral compass in their life.
The ones that listen to the Godcast.
Yeah.
Well, all like you said, all that's great. If you want to go out and pray and go into prayer groups, I think what happens is sometimes people get involved and then they change their personality completely, and it's not the person you know or love.
Right.
And you see, the major change as a red flag.
Well, and Whitney had sent this email, and it's like, these people, they are not satisfied if they don't see the same fear in your eyes. They want you to take it as seriously as they do, and that's what it is. In a sense, you feel like they're trying to convert you, and they do. They want converts, and they
ain't getting me.
They're not satisfied unless you are right there with them, toe to toe, believing it and drinking it like they do.
You don't care as much as they do.
This is what's new to me. How and can you? That's even a question. Can you continue to have a meaningful relationship with that person when they are to that level? And Whitney says, I miss my old mother. I wish I could have her back. This is really it. So to me, thank you for the emails. Shyla had sent one in talking about his mom. Going down the conspiracy rabbit hole. I lost the majority of my family down this rabbit hole. I am middle of the road. And right now, you can't really have the conversation. Stephanie had sent one in. My mom is on the exact same page. Our relationship is strained because all she wants to do is talk about her crazy conspiracy theories. That's it. So you're dealing with Tammy. Same thing. I have a brother-in-law who's a doctorate in political science and a huge conspiracy theorist.
That's
wow.
Can't have any other conversations. That's it. Man. So thank you. But I'm not alone, unfortunately.
I'm not alone, but still, what the hell am I supposed to do?
And it's not a political statement. It's when it gets crazy on either side.
It's a relationship. This is a relationship conversation. Like I said, it could be me. Somebody could be going, Kevin won't talk about anything but college football. And if you don't like the Buckeyes as much as he does, oh my gosh, he will not stop until you are as big a fan of Ohio State as he is.
And he's a mother bucker.
Right.
And that's exhausting.
Yes.
Emotionally
it would be
exhausting
exhausting to anybody else. And this is just it. It's if you have that approach with somebody in your relationship, you will wear them out. A lot of people are feeling that.
And to your point earlier, you got to have more gears to go to. Have other things to talk about.
Right.
Got to say, if we're not connecting on this, let's be able to talk about something else.
It's just such a sad perspective. There's nothing else to talk about.
And there is.
And they really think that.
Chocolate croissant, go.
There's a million things to say about the chocolate croissant.
Exactly.
It's flaky. It's buttery. If it's warmed up, it's gooey.
Not politically motivated at all. Fuck.
Somebody said, if your mom's not working anymore and she is retired, maybe she can go volunteer somewhere. She went to go volunteer out there at the caves that they have out there. But the person she volunteers with, I believe, is one of the people that's in her circle. So they sit there and they're not very busy.
They're just feeding off of each other.
All it is conspiracy central. And so actually her volunteer work is actually enhancing this.
That's messed up.
When is the last time you actually talked to your mom?
She called last night. Oddly enough, the person that she volunteers with is coming to South Florida. Mom had asked if I could take her to lunch. I'm like,
oh my God.
Oh, shit.
So when are we going to lunch?
I would love to be a part of that.
Me
if you
too.
need a wingman, I am here.
2 wingmen volunteering right here.
Oh, you got the Wing Brothers.
I don't think that's going to be happening.
Wing and ding.
And I'm going to get loaded for that thing.
I'm going to be so trashed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Somebody texted in and said, there's just a lot of times no way of changing It's either change. I agree. I'm not trying to change her at
No,
all.
that's why it's nice to
know
go to
there's
the other gear.
Yeah, I'm not trying to change at all because I realize there's you could have any amount of proof, you could have any amount of that's why you have to realize that in a lot of conversations and people want these fights. There's nothing you can provide. I firmly believe in that. I could have Jesus Christ himself talking to my mom and saying,
Calm down, Ann.
I don't know if she believed Jesus right now.
Damn.
Wow.
Honestly, I don't know. She'd be like, Jesus, let me tell you why you're wrong. Somebody said, how's your dad handling all this? My dad's checked out, and I can tell
Damn.
I think he can't handle it. And
He's like, F this.
he's not too far cut from her cloth as far as like his political beliefs, but even he's like, I can't do this.
It's the obsession of it.
Yeah.
It might be because she has nothing else going on, and this gives her the only adrenaline rush she's felt.
The stories are amazing. I mean, it's fanciful fiction. It really is. It would be an unbelievable movie.
And you get weird. Everybody gets weird when you don't have hobbies or things to do. And I don't know what your mom's day is like, but if she is just watching and absorbing all this
She's
shit,
just hanging out in a cave talking conspiracy theories with some other joker.
She has a basement in Ohio. She does a little bit of craft projects, but I'm thinking now most of her time, because she sends me so many videos in a day, and I think she watches every second of it. It must be 3 to 4 hours of nonstop.
it's gonna fuck you up. I don't care who you are, and I don't care what you're putting in your brain. It's gonna make you weird.
Yeah. Well, you think about it, and it's not just even this and the political stuff. You look globally at other religions and other people who have been radicalized. It really is. You see how the psychosis goes.
Totally.
You start warping people. I was always fascinated with how the heck did Hitler do what he did? How would you get people to follow the insane, terrible, evil things that man did?
You're like, oh, wait.
Psychologists start to observe it. It is fascinating. And you start to see some of the stuff. You're like, okay. You look around the world and through time, and you can see how people get...
Horrifying.
It is. Humans are horrifying, right?
Right.
You can
Yeah.
reprogram somebody's mind.
Humans are horrifying.
Humans are horrifying.
I just want to go home and hide.
Yeah.
Did you want to just eat a bunch of food and just say, fuck it?
No, I don't want to be fat. I won't fit in my hiding spot.
Here's another fun one to add to the pile. I love Boca Steve, but he's not far from my mom in some of these conspiracy theories.
Okay,
He's right there. He
yes.
loves them.
He's very
Yeah.
vocal. He came to Brayman Honda one time, started a fight with me. I'm like, dude, I can't.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm on a remote.
About what?
I don't even know. I don't even remember. I was like, dude, please. He is passionate.
He is, yes. And he said, look what I just discovered on Google Satellite View near Okeechobee. What the actual fuck? It's north of Okeechobee and south of Westgate River Ranch. Now, it looks just kind of like an airfield, and I know we've been out there where they had the helicopter and you can land small planes and things like that. I mean, you get out there in the sticks and nothing but ground, but they have a big old Star of David out there, which is what he's looking at.
By an airstrip?
Yeah, I don't know why that would, I mean, it's interesting, but I don't know why that would be anything, but...
Well, the other thing, too, is where did he get that picture from?
He says that he got it from Google Satellite. He said if you go onto Google Satellite and you view north of Okeechobee and south of Westgate River Ranch. That's what he's saying.
It's just, I don't trust it a lot on the internet.
I will not let my mom see that.
Do not.
She'd be like, Mom, that's a landing pad for Jesus. There it is. There's the global view. That's exactly where Jesus is going to come down.
And he's coming to Okeechobee.
Yep. It's in your neighborhood. Get ready.
It's horrifying.
Is that where he said that was in Okeechobee?
Yeah, I don't know. I threw it away now. I said it like twice, though, but it's somewhere over there. Let me see here. Other stuff. We got Caitlin here with a question. Said, I love when you guys talk radio shop talk. So here is a question. Kev, since you are so meticulous with your prep and you put so much care into your content, how in the world do you then just relinquish your control and set it all free for Virginia and Jaybird to riff on? Do you ever have segments that just totally don't go how you envision them? Do you have secret hand signals to indicate for someone to cut it the F out or stay on topic? Or like you scratch your nose, and that means just wait till commercial. I'm going to flip out on y'all. Anyway, I'm fascinated how you seem to be a bit of a control freak with prep and then turn around and be super chill, affable radio personality.
Affable?
Affable.
Oh, because they do say you're affable, too.
Affable.
I
Oh,
see what
thank
the
you.
bitches write on the Instagram.
Well, tell my wife.
No. I'm scared.
I think when it comes to that, to me, it's really what KVJ is, the essence of it. Because to me, I think it's a bit of a balance, and I think everybody understands their roles. And I think KVJ, to me at least, by design and what I would like the show to be, it's its best when you have the balance of that. Because I am too meticulous and too robotic in how I prep everything out that you need spontaneity. And you need to infuse it with a little bit of surprise. And if we just went on what I did, it'd wind up boring. But I think you can go to the other side, and then there are times where it could be too chaotic. So,
Right.
you know, and you're like, what's going on? It's like nothing's making sense. They were over here, now it's over here. And
I
then
think they're
it's there,
drunk.
and- yeah. So to me, that's in a sense, everybody on this show has got their role in what they do. You know, I come in and it's rigid. And then, you know, I'm always asking myself the question, if they come up with something that's better than what I had scheduled, then we're going to go with where they were going with it. And so you just have to always try to be flexible in that. And you're always asking yourself that question, okay, are we best to get on the path I was taking us, or did they take us to a better path? And then sometimes you can see Virginia and Jaybirds got their own little thing going on. You just have to let it burn itself out. Because I realize
It burns hot.
yeah, it comes out to a point like, okay, you just need to sit back and they're going to talk. And then there will be a point where they look at each other and realize there's no end to this. And then they look back to me and it's like, okay, and then we'll continue back on our way. So that's kind of typically how it goes. But to me, that's my thoughts. I don't know if you guys have anything to add to it.
We know each other pretty good at this point, too. I mean, you kind of know when somebody is vibing and not vibing. And we've been doing this for a long time.
We have. It's hard not to, you know, understand each other's moods and personalities doing it. I spend more time with y'all at an intimate relationship than anybody in the world. We spend 4 or 5 hours a day talking about matters of the heart and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
And then I come over to your place on the weekend.
I know. It's a fucking lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Damn, I looked up on Google Maps. Boca Steve is right. There is some weird shit. Look at this pentagram and look at, like, are these missiles in it?
I don't know what it is.
What is that?
I don't know. They wouldn't have missiles like that. I have.
What is it?
Those are missiles, Kev.
Can't look like a fucking missile to me.
What, just sitting out?
I don't know if they're just sitting out. It looks like they're around a small structure of some sort.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's some sort of monument? Could this be like some sort of monument?
I doubt that it's something where it's, you know, yeah, it might be some kind of historical thing.
Right. It might be like
I don't know of anything out there.
I mean, there's nothing else out there.
Okay.
That airstrip doesn't appear to be used anymore because it's...
Yeah, Engineer Key said there's a load of broke down aircraft on the runway, and he said the stuff does look like missiles.
I think they look
he's-
like missiles.
I think he's checking it out on Google.
It's clearly there, and there's clearly like debris that looks like old airplanes and stuff.
So Metal Beer Dan is asking, was that a Star of David or a pentagram?
I don't know the difference. What's the difference?
I don't know. I think they typically are pretty much the same thing. I mean, the pentagram is referring to, you know, the points that it has. And then the Star of David is basically, I guess, a pentagram. So it depends on how you look at it. Like the Star of David means Jewish. Pentagram usually means Motley
Devil.
Crue shout at the devil. Yeah.
I mean, they're totally different, but they do kind of have the same look.
Okay, 6 points is David, 5 points is a pentagram.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 6.
So that's Star of David, not a pentagram. Okay, so that's the difference.
Okeechobee.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it is the Star of David. So that's where Jesus is coming back. He's got a landing pad.
Yes.
He's coming down from the clouds. He's like, okay, there we go, Star of David. All right, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. Bam.
Do we have an ETA on Jesus?
I think he's going to be disappointed with Okeechobee. Nothing against Okeechobee. I just feel like you should land in Palm Beach.
You think so, huh?
I mean, at least Lake Worth.
At least Lake Worth. Okeechobee?
Come on.
Okay. I don't know. Who knows? All the mysteries out there. Let the conspiracy theorists jump on that one. I got an email here saying, you all know that I love you very much.
Uh-oh, here comes the insult.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I love our feedback sessions.
Okay. I'm somebody who writes in very frequently, and I just want to give this note regarding Rocco's behavior. Yes, every child is different. Every child needs to be handled differently. But based on the reaction of both you and Jaybird, Kevin, when Virginia talks about Rocco and his bad behavior, it's almost as if you guys are afraid to speak your truth. Kevin, I hear the questions you ask, and I know exactly where you're going with it, but she doesn't get it. And then you just give up on pushing it any further when you realize she may start barking and casting spells on those who oppose her.
That's my favorite thing to do.
Please be honest with Virginia and her style of raising and disciplining Rocco. The reason why she left the behavioral therapist is because she said the behavioral therapist focused more on her instead of Rocco. They're focusing on her because she is the problem, not Rocco. She admitted that the kids in the neighborhood don't really want to play with him because he's bossy, and she thought that was funny. Trying to get him into a gifted program is not going to work. A gifted program not only looks at smarts, which Rocco is extremely bright, but you have to have good behavior. I've seen plenty of kids who are brilliant that couldn't get into a gifted program because of their attitude and their behavior. Virginia has to stop blaming everything on her child for his behavior. At the end of the day, she is the disciplinarian. She thinks it's funny when a 4-year-old says the F word and laughs in front of him. At the end of the day, when he hurts himself by running into a couch, she falls off the couch laughing because she thinks it's so funny. It's not okay. She's not getting it. She is the problem. She also made a comment that I'm too tired for this. I don't have time for this. You need to make time. If you want your child to not be in prison in 14 years or suspended from school for smacking a teacher because he doesn't like how she talked to him, she will regret not making the time now to fix this very serious issue. I know Jaber doesn't have kids, but he understands discipline better than Virginia.
Don't fucking bring me involved in this shit.
I know. She wants you and I
Don't speak my name.
to
I
get
fucking want
wrapped up
nothing to do with
in
this.
all this.
Yeah, fuck that.
And honestly, I will tell you my truth and my thoughts on all this. I know you already have it figured out for me. But yes, I ask questions. I am curious. But I got to tell you, every time I've seen Rocco, he's been nothing but a great kid. He's a fun, awesome kid with an amazing personality. And I don't see those things. I ask questions because she brings up things that I don't see in all this. And the one thing I have learned as a parent myself, people are very complicated. Children are even more complicated. And I don't know enough about the situation to ever even say how to do it. And there's many different ways to try to raise children, and it has to go with the person and their style. I don't think that there's ever a one-size-fits-all, because you have to go with the personality of not only the child, but the parent themselves and how you wind up having that relationship. And to me, if a child is loved for the most part, I'm like, they'll turn out all right. It's all good.
They got more than I did.
Yeah, and so just so you know, that's my truth and that's my feeling. I don't have any judgment on Virginia, and I really always try not to judge other parents for what they're doing. I mean, they're hopefully trying if you're trying your best, I ain't going to judge you. If you're beating your kids and you don't give a shit about your kid, I will judge you.
Don't let that email get you down, because I know what happens, because I know Rocco too off of the air, and he's a very sweet kid. And nobody wants to hear a woman or a dad get on the air and brag about how awesome their kid is. So you do what we all do. You bring up the shit that's going wrong in your life, and that's sometimes what happens is the audience only hears that side of Rocco. Or
That's true.
If I like, for example, Aunt Ann was only known as always snapping at Kevin or being bitchy to Denny's, when in reality she was a loving woman overall. We know that. Just something to think about for the audience.
Yeah.
If you only hear one certain kind of theme, you're going to think you have the whole picture when you really don't. But keep in mind, too, when you go public with that stuff, people are going to have opinions as well.
I get it. Rocco is good, I would say 70% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
70% of the time, we got no problems. But those, like Jason said, are boring. I would never talk about that 70%.
Well, Rocco did something cool today. That, trust me.
That's annoying.
More people would hate that if
Yeah.
you were on here bragging about how awesome those emails would be tripled.
Do you want to see his test scores? Because they're amazing.
Exactly. I don't want to fucking hear that shit. No, I'm kidding.
Somebody texted and asked, did Virginia set a meeting for Rocco?
So we have a upcoming teacher conference. The teacher has requested a conference and they're scheduling their Zoom because of COVID. But after we have that conference, I'm going to ask, during the conference, I'm going to ask the teacher, hey, what do you think that we should do? Because obviously he needs to be punished for the grades going down so considerably.
Yeah.
Like, what should we do? Because it's about his behavior, not his scholastic stuff. And I feel like, he can control the behavior. So how can we help Rocco? What punishment would you like us to implement at home? Because she's an expert,
It's tough. I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't matter the age of the human. Motivating people to do different things, no matter what the age, it's a struggle throughout life. And it is very complex, and it's never a one-size-fits-all because everybody is motivated differently.
Sure.
So,
But humans
That's
are
life.
weird, man. We're
tough.
We're
tough.
emotional creatures. Even people that say, "Oh, I'm not fucking emotional." Yeah, you are. You're being emotional right now by saying, "I'm not fucking emotional."
You're hiding your emotions.
Yeah,
You're stepping on them.
We are weird creatures, and our emotions make us fucked up, man.
That's what it's all about. I'm trying to move my mom off conspiracy theories. You're trying to get your kid to behave. I mean, this really is, that's life. It's just dealing with each other and trying to all get along, man.
Oh, jeez.
I'm so happy that Magnolia is where she is because she's almost like a little mini adult.
Yeah, she
And
is.
so
She's very mature.
I'm kind of feeling like I'm almost to the point where, she'll be leaving for college in a couple of years. I'm like, okay, one down, one to go. I'm looking forward to the day when I can just sit back and just stare into nothing,
Yeah, I think you will find, because I've got kids that are almost 23, it's a different dynamic, but it's still there. You're still their parent. You're still worried about what they're doing. You're still sitting back observing. You handle it differently because you're more of the person that has to tell them the rights and wrongs and determine their behavior. But as they get older, it doesn't change. You do see things that you're like, I don't love that, but all right, So it'll always be there.
That was a long critique of an email. That person took.
They had a lot to say. They got emotional about it.
I mean, that at least took that person at least 15 minutes to write that.
Yeah.
Probably more than that.
Yeah.
That's a long ass email.
Rocco is loved, and he's got good people around him, and he'll be fine.
Rocco will be fine. You just know how it is. If you talk about shit long enough, you're gonna get people to clap back.
It's fine. I'm good.
And she cries all the way home.
That's pretty much what we do.
Oh no, so that was me I was talking about.
Yeah.
And by she, I mean me.
We read all your emails and we go home and cry.
I use them to dry up the tears.
All right, thanks for everything you got to say. You can always send those to us, mail@kvjshow.com, mail@kvjshow.com. You guys have an amazing day. We'll talk to you later.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.